In the small, active town of Umuoba, two boys, James and Mason, were born on the same day. Their families, though not wealthy, were close-knit and supportive. James and Mason became inseparable, often playing under the mango trees or chasing chickens in the village square. James' father and mother were Christians and traders. They had their store at the market square where they managed the business together. James' father was usually the first to leave their home for their store to start the business for the day. James' mother will stay back at home to get the children ready for school. Lunch would be prepared while in the store in preparation for the children's arrival from school. Mason's father was a civil servant at the local government office, while his mother was a school teacher. Mason's parents were Christians too, and they loved God dearly. They had family members who stayed with them to assist in the housework and in taking care of the children's school attendance and other related activities. Even as children, their differences were evident. James was diligent and curious, always helping his mother with chores or asking elders questions about life. Mason, on the other hand, loved to play all day, often skipping his responsibilities and leaving his tasks undone. One day, schools were on break. Mason's mother told him to wash the plates before she comes back from the market. Immediately his mom left, he left the house to play football. His mom met the kitchen very unkempt and dirty when she got home. Their first day at St. Mary's Primary School was an exciting one. James carried his school bag with pride, eager to learn. Mason, however, complained about waking up early and spent most of the day doodling on his book. James got to Mason's house very early. He wanted them to go to school together. So, he begged his mom to allow him go to Mason's house to call him. He got there and his parents told James that Mason was sleeping. James went into his room to wake him up. Mason asked if it was time for school. His mother had called him several times, but he didn't answer her. In their class were two bright girls, Olivia and Ava, who quickly became their friends. Olivia was bold and confident, while Ava was kind and thoughtful. The four of them often played together during recess. However, when it comes to their academics, James, Olivia and Ava were focused, while Mason was lazy with his class and homework. Mason's laziness soon caught up with him. He neglected his homework and preferred to copy from James. When the teacher discovered this, Mason was punished, but instead of learning his lesson, he blamed James for being too smart. This did not make him stop not doing his homework. He was given a letter to his parents from the class teacher for the same offense. His parents were disappointed. James excelled in his studies, often winning prizes during the end-of-term ceremonies. His parents beamed with pride, while Mason's parents grew increasingly worried about their son's lack of focus. At the end of their primary school education, James, Olivia and Ava came out in flying colors, while Mason managed to pass. It was glaring and very sad that his laziness took a bad toll on him. During a village festival, the elders told stories of hardworking individuals who had risen to greatness. James listened attentively, inspired by the tales. Mason, however, was more interested in the free food and dancing. The boys moved on to secondary school. James worked hard to secure a scholarship during different competitions that their school participated in. Mason barely passed the school's entrance exams. In school, James continued to excel, while Mason found new ways to avoid studying, often sneaking out to play football. One day, he was caught playing football during the school hours with a group of boys by the school principal. The next morning, the names of the offenders were called on the assembly and they were punished. One day, Olivia confronted Mason, urging him to take his studies seriously. "Mason, you have so much potential. Don't waste it," she said. Mason promised to change but quickly fell back into his old habits. Ava, too, tried to encourage Mason. She helped him with his assignments and tutored him in math. Despite her efforts, Mason's laziness remained a stumbling block to his progress. Mason's parents also spoke to him to change his ways, and they prayed for him every time. After 6 years in secondary school, the students had their graduation ceremony and award-given ceremony. James received many awards. Mason didn't receive any one. His parents were unhappy about it, but they were still hopeful that he will change. Sometimes, college students often keep themselves busy with minor jobs before proceeding to the higher institutions. This is to keep them from being idle and at times, to assist the family's financial situations. After high school, James secured a part-time job as a teacher's assistant to support his family. Mason, meanwhile, spent his days lounging at the village square, dreaming of quick wealth. James applied for a government scholarship to study engineering in Lagos. When the results came out, he was overjoyed to learn he had been selected. Mason, who hadn't even applied, dismissed it as too much stress. It was celebration time in the family of James when he received a government scholarship to study engineering in a federal university. Mason's parents heard about it and they wondered why Mason was not like his friend. The city life is different from the village. In Lagos, James faced challenges but worked tirelessly, excelling in his studies. He often wrote letters to Mason, encouraging him to pursue something meaningful. Mason rarely replied. James graduated with honors and secured a job at a reputable engineering firm. He returned to Yumuoba briefly, hoping to inspire Mason, but found his friend unchanged. After their graduation from higher institution, Olivia became a nurse, while Ava pursued teaching. Both women were making strides in their careers, but they were often worried about Mason, who seemed stuck in the same place since they left primary school. Mason began hanging out with a group of dubious characters who promised him quick money. Despite warnings from his friends and family, he saw this as an easy way out. James offered to help Mason find a job in Lagos, but Mason refused, claiming he wasn't ready for the city's hustle. James married Olivia, and they built a happy home together. Ava married Michael, a kind-hearted doctor, and continued teaching in the village. Mason remained single, living with his parents. Years passed, and James became a respected figure in his field, often giving back to the community. Mason, now older and regretful, often sat under the mango tree, reflecting on the life he could have had. At a community gathering, James shared his story, emphasizing the value of hard work and perseverance. Mason, sitting quietly at the back, nodded in agreement, silently wishing he had chosen a different path. James' children grew up to be just as hardworking and reliable as their father, while Mason became a cautionary tale for the village youth. Though their paths had diverged, their friendship remained a poignant reminder of how choices shape destiny. 7 lessons from A Tale of Two Friends 1. Hard work pays off. James' diligence and commitment to his goals led him to a life of success and fulfillment. Hard work is the foundation of any meaningful achievement. 2. Laziness leads to regret. Mason's refusal to take responsibility and his constant search for shortcuts resulted in a life filled with missed opportunities and regret. Laziness can rob you of your potential. 3. The power of choices. The story highlights how the decisions we make today shape our future. While James chose discipline, Mason chose complacency, leading to contrasting outcomes. 4. Value of education. James' pursuit of education opened doors to scholarships and a rewarding career. Education remains a powerful tool for breaking barriers and achieving success. 5. Good friends can shape your life. Olivia and Ava tried to guide Mason, but he ignored their advice. Surrounding yourself with positive, supportive friends can help you stay on the right path. 6. Learn from others' stories. James was inspired by the elders' tales of hard work and perseverance. Listening to others' experiences can motivate us to make better decisions. 7. It's never too late to change. Though Mason realized his mistakes late in life, his reflection serves as a reminder that it's never too late to turn things around and inspire others with your story. Do you love captivating stories filled with life-changing lessons? Subscribe to Enny's Diamond Stories today. Here, we bring you inspiring tales about family, relationships, faith, and personal growth. Let these stories encourage you to make the right choices and live a purposeful life. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and join our growing community of dreamers and achievers.